From Los Angeles, this is Montserrat Radio.
Despite the loss, I'm over here, gotta get across. Whether you like it or not, there is a moment meant for us. And now you made it, but I already played this. Not interested, open your eyes, let's get it done. Take my hand, just follow me. Shadow me, I won.
You're listening to Montserrat Radio.
The Special Drawing Right, or SDR, was created by the IMF in 1969 to supplement the official reserves of its member countries. The SDR is an interest-bearing international reserve asset that can only be held by the IMF, its member countries, and designated official entities known as prescribed holders. In addition to this role, the SDR serves as the unit of account of the IMF and several other international organizations. The IMF's financing arrangements with its member countries are denominated in SDRs. The value and yield of the SDR are defined using a basket of major currencies, which are selected due to their importance in the world's trading and financial systems. The SDR value is calculated daily, while its interest rate is determined on a weekly basis. The IMF Executive Board reviews the composition of the SDR basket every 5 years. This composition is revised to reflect major changes in the roles of various currencies in the world economy, and thus to enhance the attractiveness of the SDR as a reserve asset. In its most recent review in 2015, the board expanded the basket to include a fifth currency, the Chinese renminbi. The basket will now include the US dollar, euro, Chinese renminbi, Japanese yen, and pound sterling. SDRs are allocated to members in proportion to their IMF quotas and relative economic standing in the world economy. Every 5 years, the IMF reviews whether there is a global need for additional international reserves to justify a new allocation of SDRs. The most recent and by far the largest allocation took place in 2009 as part of the response to the global financial crisis. Currently, the amount of SDRs stands at over 204 billion. These allocations provide each member with on-demand access to freely usable currencies. Members can exchange SDRs for freely usable currencies from other members to meet a balance of payments need or to adjust the composition of their reserves. The SDR is therefore not a currency, nor a claim on the IMF, but a potential claim on the freely usable currencies of IMF members. At the time of the allocation, a member country is assigned two positions of the same amount: its SDR allocation and its SDR holdings. It receives interest on its holdings and pays interest on its allocation. The interest earned by a member on its holdings and paid out on its allocations are both based on the SDR interest rate. This means they cancel out completely as long as SDR holdings are equal to SDR allocations. The SDR market functions primarily through voluntary trading arrangements, or VTAs. Under these arrangements facilitated by the IMF, members volunteer to buy or sell SDRs. If a member exchanges SDRs for freely usable currencies, its SDR holdings fall while its foreign currency reserves rise. If its holdings fall below its cumulative allocations, it has to pay interest on the shortfall. If a member exchanges freely usable currencies for SDRs, its SDR holdings rise above its cumulative allocations, and it earns interest on the excess. In the event that there is insufficient capacity under the voluntary trading arrangements, the IMF can activate the designation mechanism, where it calls upon members with strong external positions to purchase SDRs from members with weak external positions. The value of the SDR as a reserve asset thus derives from the right to exchange it for freely usable currencies. Through this, the SDR plays an important role in providing liquidity to the global economic system.
Montserrat Radio is proud to present Divine Intel RV with Benny, following God's promises for humanity. And now your host, Benny Wilson.
Good afternoon. Sorry for that. They're having technical issues right now. And welcome. Welcome to Divine Intel. This is your host, your friend, and your brother, Mr. B. We're going to have a very educational show today so you guys can really understand what is the SDR, the holy SDR. And the reason what I'm doing, let me just do this a little change. 1 second, please. Okay, good. Now we are good. So the reason is because every single guru up there, they pretend to know what is the SDR. And the worst thing of all is that that's the reason, one of the major reasons why bankers really laugh their ass off out of gurus is because they really don't know exactly what they're talking about. They don't. I've been saying it for a long time ago that the main reason is because they're feeding you with ignorant information, and therefore you assume that that's the case. That is actually the truth, because the people who are behind the microphone supposed to take some kind of responsibility of what the information has been given to you. So I'm going to tell you exactly what the SDR is and what they are not. And that little part right there, that what they are not, is what the gurus are not telling you. Because if they tell you what is not, they should know what it is. But since they don't know what it is, they cannot tell you what is not. Okay? So the assumption that the SDR, which has the special drawing rights, was created back in 1969 by the International Monetary Foundation, that's the IMF. The assumption that the SDR has value is completely wrong. The SDR doesn't have no value. And that's what I'm going to let somebody who is knowledge in this process of the IMF, because she worked for the IMF. She has worked in the bank industry for many, many years. And she's very well known. This lady has always nailed it. She actually called the big break of the system, not the big break, but the early break of the system this month, basically 4 days. And now she is calling that all the bankers are gonna flee. All right? She's saying that all the bankers will be the first to flee. And that is happening right now. Believe it or not. They are fleeing because they've been traced. They've been traced to, for all these crimes that they've been doing it. Like I said, the financial reset is basically a collapse of the corruption. So if there is a collapse of the corruption, a lot of things that were implemented, been done illegally under the table or above the table, will no longer work. And we are seeing now in news exactly that. So as you know, while gurus out there are calling for the exchanges, last time I checked, it was 3 days ago, somebody said, we're going to have the 800 numbers in the next 24 hours, and nothing. It's been already 3 days, no 800 numbers. It's been already 3 days, and no private groups exchanges. It's been already 3 days, and exactly not even one guy has exchanged. Not one. As a matter of fact, I've been told that Mr. Philip Tilton's supposed to be exchanging yesterday. Hey, I'm so happy for him. So if he actually exchange, he should be no longer provide you intel, right? Because it's already, signed the private agreement not to say anything, right? Because if he was able to exchange, and now Mr. David Smith, because David Smith left, remember? And all of a sudden, out of the blues, he came back. Still poor. Well, not actually poor, because he actually became a wealthy man out of 500,000 people that they follow him and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars on his seminars. He doesn't really need the RB at all. So the assumption that there are exchanges right now, the assumption that they have the best contact, the assumption that the Family Drug is going to take care of all this. The assumption of every single retard information about the exchange centers, about the 800 numbers, everything continuously being wrong and false. And I'm not making this up. You can see it for yourself. So, let's talk about the SDR, because that's the part that I'd like you to understand what we are waiting for. Okay? So we are going to teach you what is the SDR and what they are not. So let me play the audio. I was trying to find out what her name is. Totally forgot what her name is. She's very wonderful. Let me see. Okay, hold on. Her name is. She's also a professional trader.
So we're going to
all right, hold on. Let me see what her name is. Jesus, it's not here. Oh, I forgot her name is. Sorry for that. I apologize. All right, so we're just gonna play the audio, okay? And we're gonna give the credit later on. All right, guys, let's listen. But before I do that, let me just sign my browser off. Before people start sending me messages, just like right now, when you actually hear the noise. So now I'm muted, and now we can be educated. Let's go and listen to the audio right now.
So we're going to explore the SDR, the New World Reserve money. We're going to look at what the SDR is and, frankly, also what it isn't. Why the global financial system needs them particularly now. And key on all of this is what's changing. Because the change has already occurred. It's just your awareness of it that might be a little bit slower. But the truth is the SDR has already been positioned as the world reserve currency. So the U.S. has already lost its clout. And let me show you, and we'll start with the basics, real simple. What is the SDR? Well, it's a fiat money of the IMF. Fiat money is created from nothing, but it is not a claim against the IMF. Rather, it is a potential claim on the underlying currencies in a currency basket, which we'll see in a minute. So that's why Rickard said that they're held unaccountable, because the SDR is not a claim against the IMF. The SDR, simply put, stands for special drawing rights. And frankly, that's just a name, just like the US dollar is just a name or the euro dollar is just a name. But the reason why it was created, and this is really interesting, it's one of the reasons why I love doing these. But in 1969, the SDR was created to take over as the world reserve currency from the US dollar, because the U.S. knew that they were about to default on the Bretton Woods Accord that had been in place since '44. And then what he was going to do was disallow other countries converting their holdings of U.S. dollars into gold. And that would break it. That's when they say Nixon went off the gold standard or took us off the gold standard. And so nobody trusted us at that point. So they needed global liquidity, and they needed a new reserve asset that could come in and take over for the dollar. Fortunately for the U.S., Kissinger stepped in and developed the petrodollar, which we're going to be talking about next month, and therefore pulling out the SDR at that point as the world reserve currency was not necessary. But understand that that's what it was designed for. All those plans and systems were put in place back then. They're still there. And it is all about creating global liquidity. Notice, not global value, but just the liquidity. So let's talk about the value. Originally in 69, it was based upon gold. But once Nixon took us off the gold standard and reneged on Bretton Woods, it went to a basket of currencies. Oops. At first it was 16 currencies, and by 1981 it was down to 5 currencies. And that's where it's been ever since. Let me show you. You'll notice in here that the German mark and the French franc ultimately converted to the euros. And what I also find really interesting about these tables is that you could actually see financial power shifts based upon the weighting of the basket. So up here, the German and French franc were at 32%, the dollar was at 42%, and then of course you have the British pound and the Japanese yen. By 2006, you can see that the power had shifted. Some of the power had shifted to the US dollar and the euro dollar, and the yen and the pound gave up some of their power. Well, of course, then we had the crisis that hit in 2007 and 8, and then in 2009, the crisis was deepening. So you might recall that March 9th, actually that's exactly the date, was when globally central bankers started injecting quantitative or executing quantitative easing, which is injecting a lot of newly created money out of debt into the banking system to try and stem this tide. It was actually the dollar, all currencies were on life support because of the crisis, okay? But that wasn't enough. So the IMF stepped in and they flooded the system with new SDRs. And understand, they create these out of thin air. They're not a claim against anything. They just push a button and boom, there's all these SDRs. Now something else I want to point out, and I'm going to be mentioning it in a couple slides, but this is from the IMF, and what it shows you is the allotment of SDRs. They've done 3 allotments, and people don't have to, or countries don't have to buy SDRs. They are given SDRs based upon their standing in the global financial community. So this is the first allotment, this is the second allotment, and this is the allotment that they did in 2009. Just keep that in mind. I'm going to reference it in a little bit.
Okay, so let me explain what the holy SDR means for you right now. Nothing. Nothing. Why? Because they have not allocated the new value on the SDR. Simple as that. You heard it for somebody who knows what she's talking about. An ex-banker, a current trader, and somebody who basically have been debunking a lot of the myth about the SDRs, about the banking industry, etc., etc. So why gurus are introducing the SDR? Because it involves currency exchange. That's all. So they assume that since the XCR and the SDRs are ready, they assume that the new value of currencies will be available. But they don't tell you one little part. And that little part is called activation. You see, the IMF as an agreement, international agreement, they call it arrangement. In the event that there is insufficient capacity, what does that mean? In the event that everything collapses, that's what it means. When there is no sufficient capacity, meaning in the event that through all those currencies in the baskets, the Rami, let me see where are they. Let me just go through this because I think I found it right here. I was going through, I had a wonderful debate with my friend, the professional trader. And the currencies are the Chinese yuan, the euro, the Japanese yen, the British pound, and the United States dollar. That will be 5 currencies. Okay, so my debate with my trader, my professional trader, was that he said, look man, the Chinese yuan is gonna kill it. It's gonna kill them, and they're the only currency that is back on gold. And since they're back on gold, every single of the countries that are inside the basket will have to implement gold. Now that's a good argument. I'm not saying it is not. Okay? So right now, the SDR has no value because it's only one country that has gold. And by the way, it was not last year. It was back in 2015 when they welcomed the Chinese yuan. Okay? So it's been 15, 16, 17, 2 years. Every single 5 years, the IMF have to go through the baskets of currencies and allocate through all those currencies what has any value. Okay? And then they can even determine what's going to be the new standard currency in the world. And they can determine, who has more value, and therefore everybody should implement it the same way. So why is it that the yuan, the Chinese yuan, or renminbi, anywhere you want to call it, the Chinese renminbi, okay? Why is it that having the only currency that is gold back, why hasn't actually affected the rest of the currencies? And we just had an earthquake right now in Los Angeles. Hold on. Stand by. We just had an earthquake in Los Angeles. Hold on. Let me check. Well, how long was it? It was just a little second. And let me just check. Earthquake, Los Angeles. It just happened right now. It was 2.7 right now. And, yep, I felt it. Okay. All right. Let's continue with the show. All right, so well, let me do something here. Hold 1 second, guys. Just one second, okay? Alrighty then. Okay, let's do this. All right. Okay. All right. We just kick him out. All right. So, like I was saying, like I was talking to you, before the earthquake come out and Poo Poo Bear come and make a presence, is that oh, I got a new troll over here. Thank you. Anyway, all right. So since every single 5 years they need to go through the currencies, okay? They need to do a, basically it's an audit they do every 5 years. The fifth year is gotta be this year, okay? And right now, Mr. Gene Rickards is promoting his infomercial about the potential that you and us and everybody retirement plan will be actually lost because they're gonna collapse the financial system. We're all waiting for that, right? And the first thing that will get destroyed will be the retirements. Now, before I continue talking to you about this, because it involves economics, let me make a claim. This show is for entertainment purposes only. my information is only and basically only my opinions. I don't know who is listening to me. And I'm just sharing information. So therefore, I behold all my rights under the Constitution of the United States. And since I already did my claim, I can happily tell you some things that a lot of you guys have been coming to me and ask me, hey, what am I going to do with my retirement? And legally, I cannot tell you what you should do. Legally, I can only tell you that you should consult this with your financial advisor. That's legally. Now, what would I do? I say myself, what would I do? Okay. Since I know that the collapse is coming, and it's coming very, very soon. Since I know all that, since I know what it's all about, the financial reset, and what's actually the IMF will look into that basket of currencies. It will look first what it has more value. Okay? It will look to see the mechanism. It will design the mechanism, and it will look for the stronger external positions between all the currencies. And what is that position that is going to be stronger? Well, if in the event that everything collapses, the IMF will implement and launch a mechanism, okay, that is called the activation of the designation mechanism. It's the activation of the design mechanism. Designation mechanism is the activation of designation mechanism. That's what it's called. So when it's forced the IMF to do that, it will look into the currencies in the basket. What has any of those has any value? All right? So why did it happen before? It didn't happen before because the renminbi, the Chinese renminbi, really they didn't have that much demand. Because the Chinese or yuan has no demand, not compared to the dollar. Now let me remind you, currencies, including cryptocurrencies, depends on demand and supply. What exactly each of those currencies have in common? Fiat currencies. They can create it out of nothing, so they don't have no value. If the Chinese was gold-backed currency, why exactly did not broke the system? We were expecting it back in 2015 to break the system, but it didn't happen, isn't it? So something they're not telling us. Something your guru is not telling you. Maybe because he doesn't have no idea how the mechanism of the economics works around the world. Maybe that's the reason, right? So we know that by prophecy, there should be a break in the system. So let me just go through this break in the system. Since the IMF supposedly, and I'm gonna make that officially, because Mr. Jean Ricard says that in March 1st, the IMF will have to do every 5 years they do this basically an audit through all the currencies. And supposedly when that happened, the whole thing is going to collapse because every single currency is fiat. So he take you to this infomercial, and it's so long, it doesn't tell you exactly how you're going to save your retirement unless you buy his book, because that's basically how information works, right? Now let me he alleged to be an insider of the government. He alleged to be an elite, basically an agent of the elite. Is that truth? Yes, it is truth. I have confirmed it. I know that. Is he actually telling us the truth? No, he's not. He's not. This is the same guy who told us that Donald Trump was supposed to sign the gold law. Bring us back to gold. Back in January the 1st of 2018. Did it happen? No, it didn't. Yet, when you go through this information, he tells you the things that he could actually predict it. And he's somebody that you can trust. I don't think so. Because the elites follow the same pattern that I've been telling you. Don't do what I said, do what I do. He's not going to tell you the truth, honey. He's not going to tell you the truth. He's not going to tell you exactly the date that they're supposed to go and do this audit on the currencies in the basket. Do you understand? He's not going to tell you that. There's supposed to be an audit on that basket of currencies and then pick up the right currency. Based on what? On a value. But since the whole collapse will come, they're going to look for something solid, something that really have value. They cannot put their trust in something that is fiat, that they can basically do out of nothing. The SDR has no value because it can create it out of nothing. The SDR is only a mechanism to exchange between currencies. It's not a currency. It is not a currency. And there's a lot of videos out there where retards telling you that, oh, this is the world currency. It was designed to be the reserve currency in the world, but it's not a currency. It cannot be a currency. Based on what? On nothing. Right? So, what is that thing that really is going to bring up the value of things? Well, let me remind you this. The reset is about the real value of currencies. That's what it's all about. The reset is basically showing the real value of currencies. So if they're going to come out with a solid value of currencies, they have to come out with something that will break the system. And the only thing that will break the system is gold. Gold. Go back to the point before the SDR was created. Gold. So, are we gold backstander? No, we're not. Now, my friend, and thank you for sending me her real name. Her name is Lynette Sank. That's her name. Thank you for that. Lynette Sank. She told us, we might be a little bit behind the news. Yes, I totally understand that. I accept the fact that we may be a lot behind the news. But that has not been implemented, guys. Why is not being implemented? Why countries like Russia? I just had a guy send me a news that Russia is buying gold like crazy. Why countries around the world are buying gold? Why? They're buying gold because gold will be the standard of value. That's it. Gold will be what was before the SDR was created. And I strongly believe that that's actually the break in the system. Besides the big collapse. Because if we are going to have a collapse, things got to start from 0.0 all the way up. Simple as that. Okay, so we know because of the prophecies that our economy is going to collapse. The dollar will devalue. There is a reason why Donald Trump has not signed that law bring us back to gold. He needs to wait for something like this to happen. Because the establishment is not going to let him sign something that allegedly we don't need. But that is coming. So when the whole system collapses, when the whole chaos and panic happen, he will have to sign that law into gold. And then you will see all those currencies within that basket implementing the gold on their own currency. That's the break in the system. So when the break happened, when will that happen? So that's the number one question. Nobody knows. Only God knows. You see, the assumption that even if I knew when the whole collapse is going to be, I would not tell you. I can warn you it's coming, but I cannot tell you the date. I don't want to go to prison. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I've been approached. I'm not going to tell you who approached me this morning, but he asked me, Benny, do you really think we're going to be exchanging before you leave? Because as you know, I have said it publicly that I know the date and the hour of the DRB. I just laughed. I said, don't worry about it. It's coming. You know? Look, my point is still the same. You need to educate yourself. When you hear gurus tell you about the SDR has no value at all. The SDR is something that they created out of thin air. Out of the thin air. The SDR was created before, 1 year before, they were told that the dollar was going out of the gold standard. That's the brainwave system. Okay? So why is it that they knew already? Because those are the elites. These are the people who control the economy. So if they know when this system, this corrupt system based on fiat money, based on money that they can create out of the thin air, not based on something that is solid, something that has real value. It means that there's some elite, some huge elite wants to end it. They're going to end it because the economy is not sustainable. Right? It's not sustainable. So let me read it again so you guys can understand this. In the event there is insufficient capacity under the voluntary trading arrangement between the IMF and all those countries inside the basket, the IMF can activate the designation mechanism where it calls for members with stronger external positions to others with weak positions. And that will actually arrive and call for exchanges of useful currencies, meaning those currencies that they're stronger than other currencies. And that's coming. That is coming, guys. Okay? That will be the break in the system. But you cannot go gold having the same corruption, guys. You can. You cannot, you can just say, look, we're just going to go gold back, and having the same people who've been manipulating the gold prices, who've been manipulating the banking industry, who've been manipulating everything. No, they need to collapse it. They need to destroy it. Okay, they need to basically see what they have destroyed, because these people, the same people who are going to make a collapse, they're going to profit out of it. I've been telling you this. All right? So, to answer those people, I can only tell you that if you want to save your retirement, talk to your advisor. Talk to your financial advisor. All right? What would I do? Okay, let me tell you what would I do. I would look for an IRA or 401k that is gold back. That's what I will do. Why I will do that? I don't know. Maybe we're going gold. Maybe because gold will really have some value on it. Maybe because of that. That's what I will do. But I cannot tell you legally what you got to do. Get it? So I will Google it. I will call companies. If they are based on gold, on diamonds, even oil. And then I will say, hey guys, you know what? I'm planning to have my IRA with you. Let me transfer it to you. That's what I will do. I don't know about you. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I will do. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the one who's going to be losing. Not you. Because you have the responsibility to do, number one, your own research. Number two, talk to the right people. Number three, run the risk. Run the risk. Okay? That's what you do. That's your own responsibility, because I assume that I'm talking into a microphone and the other side, I really don't know who is in the other side listening. I really don't. It might be a little kid or an adult, but I don't know. Right? Okay. So, that's the situation with the SDRs. So the situation with the SDRs gotta change in the real market based on something that actually has a lot of value. Not in fairy tales. Not in a family in China. Not in a family that says they're royal and they name a dragon. Not because a guru tells you that he's going to change tomorrow and therefore there should be a 100 number and everybody's going to jump out and be happy forever. No. Before we all do that, things gotta get really, really ugly. And it's gonna happen like that. It's gonna be so fast and so fast that maybe, and I just say maybe, people will end up saying, why now? Now, I was talking to my friend who is a trader. And also I told him, look, if the IMF is going to do this every 5 years, this audit they're going to go through, they may also welcome a new country, a new currency into the basket. And he said, yeah, you're right. They may welcome a new currency into the basket. And I said, do you think that since I told the whole world that my new intel is that the dinar is going to be implemented large internationally go back, do you think that something like this can actually be introduced after being 25 years and more, not be international, and all of a sudden the IMF welcome the dinar into the currency basket? Will you consider that a break in the system? He shut up and he said, Benny, man, that could, oh my God, that would be a big break in the system. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, okay. Do you think that might be a justification for people who said, why? Why now? He looked at me and goes, man, Jesus. Yeah, that would be a justification, isn't it? Maybe that was going to happen. I don't know. I really don't know, because I'm an idiot. I don't know. You know? But I know that people will ask, why not? Because I have faith I have faith in prophecy. I have faith in my Lord. I have faith in the one and only who has the key. I have faith in the truth because the truth will set you free. That is why I say the things that I say. Because of faith. So, I'm not saying that it might happen, but if it happens, hey man, why? Why now? I mean, this is a currency that has not been running for more than 25 years. Why now? Well, let's review the prophecy. When things seems to be at the worst, let's stop it right there. Israel is having really bad times right now. And according to these latest breaking intel, Israel is about to fulfill a prophecy. A prophecy that comes from the death of Bill Graham. Israel is about to be attacked from Iran and all their neighbors. And when you find out about it, then you will know that they're behind news. They're behind news. All of us are behind the news. Why they keep it in secret? Why? They keep it in secret because they want to prevent chaos and panic. That's why. Nobody would like to see the fact that there will be an attack, basically a nuclear bomb destroying anybody. I don't want to see it myself. You know why? Because it's going to ruin your day. It's going to affect the universe. It's going to affect you. It's going to affect me. It's going to affect everybody. It's going to affect the whole environment. The whole planet is going to affect. And according to the prophecy, millions of Muslims will be killed. Millions. And just remember that. Because when we see this country being invaded and being attacked left and right, what's going to happen with the United States? What's going to happen to the world market? Will the world market will be affected? You betcha. Will the world market can actually collapse at the same time that Israel is being attacked? You betcha. And all of a sudden, all these things happen. And then, voila. Why? Why now? We just went through a nuclear war, a World War III. We've been hurt because the whole world is going to be hurt. Why now? Because God, every single time God puts his finger everywhere, it collapses and creates a systematically massive psychological tremendous panic. That's how powerful the finger of my Lord is. That's why. And when this happens, who's going to be smiling? Who? Do you really think that people will actually be smiling after they found out that the whole environment is nuclear? What would happen with the afterfall? When it reaches the afterfall, the nuclear afterfall, it's going to affect us, everybody. Think about that. Do you really think it will be actually worth becoming rich, knowing that the environment is nuclear affected? Think about it. Okay? So, all I can tell you guys is that we need to be prepared for the best and for the worst. That's all. Let's embrace it. We cannot do anything about it. We cannot prevent something that potentially is being actually prophesied. Let me remind you something. Lana Bowser, not Lana Bowser. prophetess Louise Sharp. She prophesied that bomb, that nuclear bomb. It's going to be one. We don't need two. It's going to be one nuclear bomb dropping. And it's going to ruin your day and mine. I just say, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I'm just an idiot. But we need to be prepared for the best and the worst, right? So, where we stand with the revaluation of the Iraqi Dinar. All right, let me play that up. Let me play that the audio file from my friend Nanu. Okay, if you haven't listened to Nanu, new show, new intel, he will tell you. So let's go back over here. I think I have it right here. Let me see if I have it right here. Playlist. Nope, I don't have it right here. Do I have it here? Nope, I don't have it right here. I thought that I downloaded it. So let me go back over here, and I will come over and I will show you where we are right now. Okay, guys. So let's go to the history because I was listening to it, and here is. I'm gonna play that up for you guys so you can listen. Actually, no. Hold on. Okay, here is. That's the 94. Yeah, that's 94. It showed gold in it. All right, hold on, guys. Let me play that out for you. So, okay. So let me just go back and put a song on my browser. You can maybe you guys can listen to it. Let me know if you can listen to it. Okay.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Watcher's Edge. I'm your host Nanu. So still lots going on. You know, the budget's being pushed for Tuesday. They're really pushing for this. A lot of security agreements. Iraq is talking to Baghdad about getting in with helping with security and keeping ISIS out and any extremist terrorist groups. A lot of talk in the guru world about are they still in Article 7? Are they in Article 8? There's so much going on right now, guys. It's all kind of up in the air, and I'm just trusting God on this. But Tuesday, if the budget does pass, so that'll be late Monday, late Monday for us. It'll be there Tuesday. So come our Tuesday, during the middle of the day, we should know kind of what's going on. I know the U.S. dollar is really, really crashing in Iraq. It keeps going down and down and down in value against the dinar. I don't really know, is that the dinar going up or is that the U.S. dollar going down just in Iraq? I'm not exactly sure how all that works. I'm not an economist, but very exciting. If you guys look at searching for dinar, go to thewatchersedge.com, click on the links section in the top right, and go to searching for dinar. They have updated articles all the time, every day, and it's just news articles. It's not any kind of spin from a guru. It's just plain old news. So that's pretty awesome. Crypto's doing good. Again, if you want to get involved, Coinbase link below. Sign up. Do what you want to do. Also, my Patreon account is below if you want to check that out. Support thewatchersedge.com or the Watcher's Edge channel. That'd be cool too. Or not. Doesn't matter. What else can we talk about? I was part of a group called the Forge Group last night, and we were kind of talking about addictions, and I was kind of looking back on my addiction, and one of the main things that we all notice is that we blame our spouse, so we blame our wife for absolutely everything, and it dawned on me that the biggest covenant that we have on earth that really shows the true unity of God is marriage. When two or more are come together, when two come together, a man and a woman, and they're cleaved together and made one flesh. It's the total marriage of Christ and the church. It's just beautiful. So it makes sense that this reality is created in an addiction where you blame your wife for everything. And now that I'm out of addiction, I look back on all that, and right now, I recognize my wife has good days and bad days, that she's human, but absolutely nothing is her fault. Everything that she went through is my fault, my decisions. And it's just an amazing thing, because there was someone there who was kind of going through this, and being able to speak that out loud was amazing for myself, just to see, what God's done in my life. But just, watching God hit him with the reality that his actions, he's okay. He's a great person, loved by us, loved by God. But it's the decisions, a reaction by his traumatized past, and the reaction to the stimuli around him, and that need to protect his addiction by creating a reality around him. And it's really good being able to relate and explain something that I've gone through to someone who's going through it, and it's just what a blessing.
Okay, so there you go. We're still waiting for the holy budget. Now, whether the budget shows the new value of the dinar or not, let me give you the intel that I've been given by my contacts in Iraq. And this is the following. Okay, this is not divine intel. This is just intel that I've been given. Does it make any sense? Kind of. It can be temporarily, but it doesn't make sense. But since elites and corruption has no sense, anything can happen. Okay? So what exactly did they tell me? Did they tell me about what is coming? Let me tell you what's coming, according to him. They said that the dinar value will come out very soon, but it only will cover Iraq, not international. Now, can they do that? Yes, they can do that. So can they just not be international? Yes, they can be. They cannot be international. Do they want to go international? We know that they don't. We know that for a fact that they don't want to go international, right? So be ready, guys. Be ready for the best and be ready for the worst, okay? So that's a confirmation that a lot of things are coming out of the blues, and now they're telling me that this might be the scenario. All right? So I have more information, guys, but I don't want to blow it, okay? I don't have I really don't care about the information. Because it just doesn't. It's not gonna make you any richer. You're not gonna change anyway. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna follow gurus bullcrap about getting you excited and playing around with your emotions. I don't want to do that, and I'm not gonna do that. So I'd rather just let you know one more time. We need to pray. We need to look for the kingdom of God. We need to pray a lot. And I want you to pray a lot. I want you to pray for Israel. I want you to pray for every of those countries that are pretending to attack Israel. I want you to pray for peace in the world. I want you to pray for our nation. I want you to pray for our president, so we can have a less motive of falling for chaos and panic. Just because they confirm that chaos and panic is prophetic doesn't mean that it actually have to happen. Because trust me, guys, although I've been talking about chaos for panic for almost 5 years, I don't want that to happen. I don't. So I need you guys to pray a lot. If you're a believer, pray. If you're not a believer, just give me that good vibration. Because things are not going to be pretty at all. It's going to get worse. Okay? So let me just read right now the news about the financial system, the financial that is happening right now, and it's not coming out on the media because they don't want you to understand what's going on. But I gotta tell you something about the JoJo effect. If we remember the prophet King Clement, he talks about the JoJo effect of the oil prices. It's gonna go up, gonna go up, gonna go down, gonna go down. Guess what's doing exactly that? It's not the oil. It's the Dow Jones Industrial Index. According to the Market Watch, there's an article, that's the front of the article, the front page. It says like this. The Dow Jones jumps nearly 300 points as the stock market rises near intraday high. It went up viciously. It went up so bad. And now everybody, including myself, are confused. Why is raising up again? Why? Why is it the markets are behaving this way? Is it the devil? Is the enemy playing games on us? Is the devil playing JoJo on us? Maybe also the Dow Jones will be affected with the JoJo prophecy. It went up. Right now it's 25,000. The Dow Jones right now as I'm speaking. The Dow Jones is 25,266. And it went up about 347 points. That's 1.39% up. And everybody's confused. Everybody. I told you, look, don't be surprised that we end up in 20,000 and we got DRB. Because, the prophet said, I remember 20,000. He didn't know what he was talking about. Later on, they found out that it was the Dow Jones. We already touched 20,000. We haven't met 20,000 in about, 2 years. And now it's going up again. Now, let's go back to the prophecy, shall we? All right. The prophecy, and that's the latest prophecy that came out after the death of Billy Graham. In that second prophecy, it says that the Europe will going to collapse. That was going to be the first sign. So what did I tell you last time? I told you, if we hit 27,000 in the Dow Jones, the euro will collapse. The euro will collapse, 27,000. Why? Because no currency can handle a very strong dollar. So we are going to meet something very, very unusual that we have never expected before, because probably, and I just say maybe, God is doing this. So if we got the 27,000 in the Dow Jones and the dollar killed the Europe, and all of a sudden, boom, collapsed all of a sudden to 20,000, all the market will go chaos and panic. The whole thing, the whole corruption will collapse. And right in the middle of that, the RB will happen. So, if it happened that way, let me make sure that you understand what could it be our strategy when we go to exchange. Please be aware that banks will go broke. Be aware of that. That's the number one thing. If banks go broke, wait for their announcements. Okay? We need to be aware of that. Because if they go broke, no way on earth they're going to be helped by the government. Not under Donald Trump. Okay? So they're going to go after your deposits. After everything you got. A bail-in. So if you know that those banks are going to go for bail-in, I don't think that will be the right time for you to go to the bank and exchange. I don't think so. So you got to wait. Just do it to secure your new life. Okay? This is the reason why I keep saying this. Wait for instructions. And you're just a small part of all the people that follows other gurus. Let them do that. Okay? Because when everybody knows there's a stupid 800 number, they're not going to wait for that. And everybody who's going to find out that there's a new rate on the dinar, they're not going to wait for instruction. They're just going to jump into the bank and they will do whatever they care to do. They're not going to listen to me. They're not going to listen to anybody. Okay? And that's fine. I'm not your daddy. I'm really not. But if you want to jump, do it. Me? I can wait. Hey, I just don't like that feeling of being deceived. Let me remind you something. Okay? I've been warned 3 times, even with Rosalind Solomon, the prophetess, that God told them that I was going to be fraud financially. So I'm thinking, yeah, I got some business here, there, but everything's cool. I got a core litigation that I need to take care of it. But that's cool also. So I was thinking, maybe this changed. Because another woman told me the same thing, and she said it. She even said it, Benny, I see you go into a bank and looking at your hands and said, man, I waited for all this time for this. Meaning that I didn't expect to have that much money out of my exchange. Why? Because they're going to devour us. They're going to kill us. They're going to take our money. Why? Because the enemy never take a break. The enemy will kill the baby before the RB, during the RB, and after the RB. Notice how I keep repeating so you can remember. So you can be part of those people who are going to cross the border, who are going to run like crazy, provoking chaos and accidents and killing people, whatever they want to do, if they're driven, because they are driven by their own greedy and their own need and their own urgencies. If you want to be part of that, knock yourself out. I'm not going to stop you. I can't stop you. All right? But I can guarantee you that people will be very happy. People are going to really be unhappy because they were led by their own greedy. They were led by their own emotions. And they're going to pay the hard way. So when you see that rate change, be careful. You've been warned. And I wish you the best. I really do. I wish you the best. Can I be wrong? Of course I can be wrong. I'm not God. But then again, I don't trust bankers. I've been there. Thank you so much for your attention, guys. I might have a show Sunday. I may even bring you better news. I'm still waiting for confirmation because they just gave me another intel. I don't want to say anything because I don't have no confirmation. So when I get the confirmation, I either will publish it on Facebook or I will do it on my show Sunday. And by the way, before I leave, everybody who wants to have my classes of cryptocurrencies, and you want to also have my intel in case they take me out from Facebook, because I really strongly believe they're gonna kick me out of Facebook again. Okay, I strongly believe that. I just saw something that I don't want to talk about it. If you want to keep information from me, if you want to keep that, if you want, get in contact with me before I leave by the end of April, please send me your email. And I mean, not just send an email. I want you to put your email inside the body. I'm going to ask you one more time. I'm going to tell you one more time. For those people who just sent me the email and said hi, and that's it, you're not going to get into my list. You need to send me an email with your email inside the body of the email. If you want to receive my emails in Spanish, let me know. Español solamente, or Spanish only. You don't need to tell me if you want to receive your emails in English. That's the standard. So just put your email inside your email and send it to my email at BennyIntelRB@gmail.com. For those who are listening to my show in YouTube, you will find my email underneath the video. And for those who don't know how to find that email underneath the YouTube or just listening to my show, let me spell out my email. Benny, spelled with a B as a boy, E as a Edward, N as a Nancy, just one N, okay? B as a boy, E as a Edward, N as a Nancy, Y as a yellow, Intel, I as independent, N as a Nancy, T as a Tom, E as a Edward, L as a loco, and then the word RB, R as a Romeo, B as a Victor, at gmail.com. Alright? Send me your emails. I also will be sending you my news updates and intel updates, both Spanish and English. Okay? Because I don't want to rely anymore on Facebook. If they kick me out of Facebook, you know why they did it. They don't like me to teach people currencies. Alright? So, again, if I lose my account in Facebook, do not panic. If I have your email in my database, I already had purchased the autoresponder and the massive software that I need for all the people who wants to have my intel. That's it. So I hope that you guys respect my wishes, that I want you to just send me the email. I had thousands of people sending me their email on my private messages, on my private messenger in Facebook. Do not do that. Don't send me anything on Facebook private message. Don't send me anything. Send it to my email. Okay? The reason why I'm telling you this is because Facebook is blocking that. I don't see your email. I'm telling you the truth. Alright? So don't send me your email through private messages. Just send it to my email. All right? I hope that I make it very clear. And don't tell me and send me a message saying, hey, Benny, I send you my email to your email. And then you send me again your email through my messenger. Don't do that. You don't need to let me know. Just send the email. Okay? And make sure that you have an email that is compatible with my server. If you have, I don't know, there are some emails don't work with that Gmail account. I will let you know. Okay? Just in case, leave your name in Facebook so I can get in contact with you and let you know, look, your email doesn't work with my server. If you don't have a Facebook account and you don't see a confirmation that I have received your email, then your email is not working. And you gotta find out another email and send it to me. Got it? I'm just trying to let you know what's gonna happen. Alright? Okay, guys, so that's it. It is 1 hour and 21 minutes. And I gotta go. Thank you so much for your attention. Don't fall for chaos and panic. Because in the next 24 hours, something big is about to happen. I know, last time I was wrong. But I can feel it. I just can feel it. I just had a good shakeup right now. And I really think it's coming in California. Let that be his will, not mine. We know we need to be judged and punished. And I'm okay with that. God bless you guys. And I see you Sunday in another edition of Divine Intel. Good night.
Thank you for listening to Divine Intel with Benny. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.